MCL News, the Department takes over waste management in Aba. We won't tolerate undue politicking. Ugwani tells appointees. The Ebonyi State government moves to reconcile warring communities. Sun Eagles ex-captain wraps NFF over unpaid allowances. Hello there, good evening. Welcome to tonight's edition of MCL News at 7. My name is Emeka Chibu. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Colonel Hamid Ali, retired, says that there is no definitive end to the closure of land borders by the federal government. Ali spoke amid complaints by some senators who opposed the continued closure of the land borders and asked President Muhammadu Buhari-led administration to reconsider its stance on the policy. However, speaking with reporters during his operational visit to the Idiroko border in Ogun State, the customs boss said the border closure in Nigeria will last until the protocols on movement of goods and persons as established by the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, are strictly adhered to. Ali, who was accompanied by the Controller General of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Mohammed Babadende, pointed out that the border closure is never intended to be in force for 28 days. He commended the joint security operatives deployed for the enforcement of the policy, adding that President Buhari is satisfied with their operations. He says that the government's efforts to curb smuggling in the country are yielding positive results. Scandalized by the filthy state of parts of the two cities in the states, Aba and Umuahia, the other state governor, Okezie Ikpeazu, has declared an emergency on environmental sanitation. He is to sign an executive order to create separate waste management authorities in 7 metropolitan local government areas of the state. They are Aba North, Aba South, Osisiomangwa, Obingwa, Ugunabo, Umuahia South, and Umuahia North. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Onyebuchi Memanka, says that executive secretaries will be appointed immediately to manage the waste management authorities in the aforementioned places. With effect from Friday, September 27, 2019, the Governor shall, for 4 weeks, personally take over and coordinate waste management activities in the entire Aba metropolis to restore sanity and discipline to the waste management system within the emergency period. Anambra State Governor Willie Obiano has proposed a 137.1 billion naira budget for 2020. The budget projects 58.69 billion naira, representing 43% for recurrent expenditure, and 78.3 billion naira, representing 57% for capital expenditure. Works and infrastructure took the highest vote of 22.2 billion naira, followed by education with a vote of 8.3 billion and health with 6.98 billion naira. Obiano says his vision remained to make Anambra the first choice investment destination and hub for industrialization and commercial activities. He promised that the cordial relationship between the legislature and the executive must continue to achieve the aims of the Anambra. Obiano also announced at the presentation that his administration plans to build an international cargo airport at Umueri near Oka. The project is expected to go up 6 billion naira. and Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State on Wednesday declared open a 3-day retreat for newly sworn-in commissioners and advisors. He charged them to hit the ground running and to raise their performance bar towards the full actualization of government's policies and programs. Ugwuanyi says his administration will continue to advance good governance through honest, accountable governance and optimal service delivery. He also charged the new appointees to always show their sensitivity in the conduct of government business. Governor Ugwuanyi says the retreat is to share the policy directions of his administration, facilitate the appointees' understanding of governance processes. It is also aimed at securing their buy-in and build consensus on the state government's mission to continue to alleviate the sufferings of the people, saying that Ndi Enugu expect nothing less from them. The governor, who re-emphasized his administration's sense of urgency to deliver on its mandate within a short time, disclosed that it has assembled competent resource persons who are well-schooled in public sector management and governance to facilitate the policy and governance dialogue. The Ebonyi State government recently set up a judicial commission of inquiry to look into the crisis that erupted in some communities within the state. One of such communities is Amago in Ikwo local government area. The chairman of the commission, the Justice Eze Udu, has charged the plaintiffs to appear in the next sitting of the commission in order to find a lasting solution to the crisis. The Justice Udu gave the charge during the commission sitting at the Secretariat of the Ebonyi State Council of Traditional Rulers in Abakaliki. Ebonyi State correspondent A.G.K. Kele completes the report.
The chairman of the panel, Justice Eze Udu, who said that the sitting was a great achievement, stressed that the turnout was to show that everybody in the Amaru community wants peace to return. The traditional ruler of Omo Isu Autonomous Community in Afikpo North local government area, Ezogo Ewa Elechi, said that the attendance was encouraging and maintained that the issue of installation of traditional ruler would be looked into for peace to reign in the communities that want traditional rulers to pilot their affairs.
And you can see the progress we made.
Well, I don't like any community to be without the peace, not to have one. So the right thing is for any community that deserves a traditional ruler to have one. They give the peace.
The accused person, Comrade Chinedu Oga, who rendered his evidence to the panel, pleaded with the state government to listen to the chairman of the community, Dr. Iberi Ureme, saying that the complainant should allow the villagers to decide what happened in their community.
Anything concerning Amago, the government should listen to our national president. He is the opinion maker of Amago.
The secretary to Amaru community, Dr. Anthony Itumo, said he was satisfied with the development and maintained that by the time the panel set up by the state government to look into the causes of the crisis lingering in Amago Ikwo concluded its findings that peace would return to the community, thereby making his job easier. Ejike Ikele for MCLtv News, Abakaliki.
The federal government says that President Muhammadu Buhari honoring the invitation of President Cyril Ramaphosa for a state visit on October 3 is an indication of the desire of Nigeria to sustain and improve the subsisting cordial relations between both countries. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Mustafa Suleiman made this known at the Nigeria-South Africa Binational Commission in Pretoria, South Africa. Suleiman noted that it has been 6 years the meeting was last held, saying that it is long overdue. The main focus of the meeting is to ensure the finalization of all relevant draft agreements, memoranda of understanding, especially the ones that fall within the areas of interest as indicated by President Muhammadu Buhari and President Cyril Ramaphosa. The interest areas include defense, security, energy, economy, trade, and politics. Director General of the South African Department of International Relations and Cooperation, Pagbo Mohai, thanked the Nigerian delegation for attending the Binational Commission. and detained convener of the Hash Revolution Now protest and former presidential candidate Omoyele Sowore has filed contempt suit against the Director General of the Department of State Services, Yusuf Bichi, for allegedly disobeying the order granting him bail. A federal high court sitting in Abuja had on Tuesday granted bail to Sowore and ordered the DSS to release him from its custody. He has been in detention since he was arrested by operatives of the DSS since August 3, 2019 on the allegation of calling for revolution through the protest that was scheduled for September 5. However, Justice Taiwo of the Federal High Court had in his ruling on Tuesday dismissed the DSS objection in granting him bail with the sole condition that he deposits his passport in the registry of the court. Sowore, through his lawyers, submitted his passports to a deputy chief registrar of the court on Wednesday. One of the Western cultures that has found its roots into the Nigerian clime is the baby shower celebration. This culture, which is designed to celebrate the pregnant mother and her unborn child before the date of delivery, is common with the elite class, which may be described as a show of affluence and social status. The awareness of baby shower has increased that many pregnant women now view it as a compulsory activity. In this report, MCL News takes a look at the significance, relevance, and effect of baby shower. Ihoma George tells us more.
Baby shower is one of the cultures introduced by civilization, where a pregnant woman is celebrated for going into motherhood. While in the Western world, it's an avenue of raising funds for the upkeep of the unborn baby and the mother. In our culture, many see it as a show of affluence and social status, as the celebrants are conscious of the caliber of the invitees. Other respondents stated that the event is a celebration done by family members and close friends to appreciate, congratulate the expectant mother, and pray for her safe delivery. They highlighted some of the activities and programs of baby shower celebration, which they include gender gazing, choosing a godmother and godfather, choosing a name for the baby, as well as special prayers for the safe delivery, amongst others.
Celebrating, being happy that the child coming sometime tomorrow or next in 3 days time.
They are showing love to her, and also they are organizing to wish her well, pray for her, and usually the gender part of it, maybe the mother, expect the mother to be is saying, I want a baby girl, and everyone is praying, wow, we want baby girl. People are predicting the gender and all that, so it's not usually for the well-to-do.
Speaking further, the respondents who described the event as a welcome development as it makes the expectant mother feel loved, however, advised that the event is not worth breaking a bank for, as the ceremony is cost-intensive for average income earners.
It must not be compulsory that one should do it. It depends on individual. All they will just need to pray to God for safe delivery. That's the main thing. Because maybe after celebrating this baby shower, at last they lose the baby. What's the essence? Even the naming ceremony, what's the essence of it? So I don't see that it's important or to be a burden to one's life.
Other respondents who spoke off camera advised that if one cannot afford the event, they should let go, as it's not a criterion for a safe delivery. Ihoma George, MCL News.
At this point, we shall go for a break and cease to come on MCL News. Federal government assures on 30,000 naira minimum wage. PDP dares Ushibajo to resign. All your eaters' assets, court orders final for future. Details of these reports and others will be coming your way after the break. Please stay with us.
Have you been finding it difficult to cook for your family? Is cooking talk giving you sleepless nights? Don't worry, Bobby Cooking Gas Plant to the rescue. Bobby Cooking Gas Plant, 74 Abowere Road, opposite FIRS office, Aba, is now open for business. Yes, compared to other sources, cooking gas is easier, handy, convenient, and more affordable when you buy from us. Bobby Investment is a name and source you can trust and depend on when it comes to petroleum products. At Bobby Cooking Gas Plant, your satisfaction and peace of mind is our major concern. So enjoy doing business with us. We use new digital scale, digital dispenser, and we refill your gas cylinder at moderate price. Remember, at Bobby Cooking Gas Plant, what you pay is what you get. Inquiries call 0803-751-5558 or 0806-408-3835. Bobby Cooking Gas Plant, 74 Abowere Road, now open for business.
Bobby Cooking Gas is the best.
There is power in. When women pray, there are testimonies. When women pray, mountains crumble. Potter's House Women's Fellowship International presents About Women Prayer Summit, an interdenominational women prayer conference. There will be worship, praise, warfare prayer, and many more. Ministry Mommy Chrissy Eric Uche, host. Date Tuesday, October 1st, 2019. Time 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. Venue Benez Hotel, Herbert Macaulay Hall, Omongasi, Aba, Abia State. Come for a turnaround in that situation. About Women Prayer Summit, Jesus remains Lord forever. I'm Trisha.
Thank you so much for staying with us, and if you have just joined us, you are watching MCL News at 7. At this point, we shall go over to our Umuahia station where Precious Ezibu is standing by with other reports. Good evening, Precious.
to you, and welcome to my studio. I am Precious Izibu. Origins of Kano Foundation has donated relief materials to the people of the rural community in half a local government area of Abia State who were ravaged by flood. The flood, which was reported to have affected Opa, Abaja and Okoko villages, destroyed houses, economic crops and farmlands. The flood was said to have been as a result of the overflow of the Ironi River, which traversed most of the rural community, emptying into Ivy River in Ebonyi State. Presenting the items, the Executive Secretary, Jemima Ola Kalu, said the foundation's coming to the aid of the affected people was in line with the philanthropist gesture of its founder and chief whip of the Senate, Oji Kalu. She said Senator Kalu was already working with the National Emergency Management Agency to ensure that federal government comes to the aid of the affected people. Federal civil servants of grade level 7 and above will have to wait more for the minimum wage signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari on August 18th this year. Minister of Labour and Employment, Senator Chris Ngige, told the leadership of the Nigerian Labour Congress during a courtesy visit yesterday that a new presidential committee has just been put in place to resolve the deadlock over constitutional adjustments of salaries for officers on grade level 7 and above. The presidential committee is the third committee to discuss the minimum wage issue. First was the tripartite committee, which agreed on the 30,000 naira minimum wage. Second was the Constitutional Adjustments Committee, and now the Presidential Committee on Salaries. Senator Gigi, however, promised to convince the President to allow the NLC and the TUC to be on the Presidential Committee, noting that it will help in fast-tracking the completion of the process leading to the implementation of the minimum wage for all cadre of workers in the country. A federal high court sitting in Abuja on Friday ordered the permanent forfeiture of some assets linked to head of service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Ita. Although details of the case were not read out in the open court, Justice Folashade Ogunbanjogiwa made the order of final forfeiture of the monetary assets to the federal government. The assets were earlier returned to the Economic and Financial Crime Commission by suspects linked to Ita. The embattled Ita is involved in a 3 billion naira alleged contract scam, a case which was recently about peace by the EFCC. President Muhammadu Buhari earlier in September ordered the former head of service, Ita, to proceed on indefinite leave to allow a proper investigation by the EFCC in the allegations against her. Counsel to the EFCC lawyer Mohammed Abubakar says the funds were voluntarily returned to the Commission as proceeds of crime by an associate of Ita. The People's Democratic Party yesterday led Vice President Yemi Osibajo to make good his threat to waive his immunity by resigning from office immediately. The PDP, in a statement by its National Publicity Secretary Kola Olobodion, said that will enable Osibajo face the corruption allegations made against him in court. Vice President Osibajo had in a recent statement by his spokesman Laolu Akande said that he was ready to waive his immunity to allow the most robust adjudication of several allegations and falsehood against him. The opposition party stated that the Section 308 of the 1999 Constitution, as amended, confers the immunity holder of the office of the Vice President. The PDP said the National Assembly should be on notice to consider the pronouncement by Osibajo as an official communication to the legislature indicating his intention to vacate office. Ravaging gullies in different areas of Umuahia have become a source of concern for some residents of the state's capital. Some of the affected areas include Abalud, Afaruku, Ohuba Afaran, World Bank, among other areas. Residents of these areas have called on the state government for help over the ugly situation. The report. Expert opinions suggest that gully erosion is perhaps the most serious mechanism of land degradation in any given environment. This assertion may not be far from the reality given the devastating effects of this natural and oftentimes man-made occurrence on any environment it chooses. It may not be out of place to suggest that Abia State is one of the states in the southeast region with greater number of active erosion sites. Aside other notable erosion sites in the state, Umuahia, the state's capital, appears to be having a very worrisome share of this menace. Some of the affected areas include Afaruku, World Bank Housing Estate, Aba Road, and some other parts of the city. Our visit to some of the sites leaves stories of agony and cries for help.
I'm living next to this road, and the erosion, in fact, it wasn't like this before now. It started gradually, and now it has gone far. With this heavy downpour, it's now eating deep the ground, becoming a gully type of erosion. In fact, vehicle will no longer drive this route again because of this erosion.
It's causing a flood now, if time is not taken. So that is why you see how they do it now, using cement and carry sand and put inside this place, so that they wedge the erosion in order to cause a flood.
Please, everything has been causing a lot of damages. Last time here, as you can see, there is a pole that fell down here, and it caused damages because the road is not good.
To these respondents, the state government should come up with a lasting solution to the menace.
And we are hoping that the government will come back, mobilize the contractors back to site, since they say because of the heavy rain. Now the rain is subsiding, we are hoping they will come back to continue the construction of the road.
We are asking the government of Abia State they should come and help us, and please do something good for us.
I'm appealing to the government. May they call the contractor, may they come back for Afaruku and do the road where they live.
It is anticipated that these calls would draw the immediate attention and save these residents from the lurking dangers. Precious. And now on the following scene, the family of the Zimbabwe's ex-president, Robert Mugabe, said the remains of Mugabe, who died earlier this month, have been moved from his Harare house to his rural village ahead of burial expected this weekend, after weeks of wrangling between the government and his family over the final resting place for the country's founding leader. The Mugabes have opted to entomb him at his birthplace and rural home, about 90 kilometers west of the capital, Harare. The body was moved by road on Thursday evening under police and military vehicles escort, according to a video clip shared on Twitter. It was the second time it made its way back to Kutama village in Zimba district where Mugabe was born 95 years ago. When the body was first taken home last week for the public to pay their last respects, it was airlifted by a military helicopter. The family had previously agreed to have his body entombed at the shrine where preparations for a special mausoleum were already in progress. And that's the much we can take at the Umuahia studio. At this point, we'll take you back to MCLtv in Aba for the rest of the news updates.
Thank you so much, Precious, for those reports. And still on the foreign scene, a U.S. media report says that the whistleblower whose complaint has led to an impeachment inquiry against President Donald Trump is a CIA officer. The unnamed officer once worked at the White House, several U.S. outlets say. The whistleblower says senior White House official tried to lock down all details of a phone call between Mr. Trump and the Ukrainian president. Trump demanded to know who gave information to the whistleblower, saying the source was close to a spy. In the call on 25th July, Mr. Trump pushed Vladimir Zelensky to investigate his leading Democratic political rival, Joe Biden. The complaint released on Thursday says the call transcript was not stored in the usual computer system. Instead, it was stored in a separate system used for classified information. Impeachment is a two-stage political process rarely excised by which a U.S. president can be removed from office for wrongdoing. And in sports, former captain of the Nigerian national beach soccer team, Super Sand Eagles, Isiaka Olawale, has appealed to the Nigeria Football Federation to pay their entitlement for attending the 2017 FIBA Beach Soccer World Cup in Bahamas. Olawale, who made 4 FIFA Beach Soccer World Cup appearances for Nigeria, claimed all efforts to make the country's football ruling body come to their plight following their group stage exit from the tournament 2 years ago have proved abortive. Olawale says he had repeatedly reached out to the leadership of the NFF, including several messages to each president, first vice president, second vice president, as well as the NFF secretary, but all to no avail. NFF's director of competitions, Bola Oyeyode, told Newsbend that he is unaware of the issue. And that's the much we can take on the news for tonight. But before we go, a recap of our major stories. Scandalized by the filthy state of parts of the two cities in the state, Aba and Umuahia, the Abia State Governor, Okeze Ikpeazu, has declared an emergency on environmental sanitation. Governor Ifeanyi Ugwuanyi of Enugu State has declared open a 3-day retreat for newly sworn-in commissioners and advisors in the state. The Ebonyi State government recently set up a judicial commission of inquiry to look into the crisis that has erupted in some communities within the states. And in sports, former captain of the Nigerian national beach soccer team, Super Sand Eagles, Isiaka Olawale, has appealed to the Nigeria Football Federation to pay their entitlements for attending the 2017 FIFA Beach World Cup in Bahamas. Thank you so much for your time. My name is Emeka Chibu. Stay tuned for Akokowa. Good night. MCL.